These are the Scarlet Wonder Signature Edition playing cards, and this video is brought to you by Wonder Playing Cards. You'll have a matte red tuck box, which is extremely soft. You have these silver metallic lining all the way around the outside, and their embossed silver W logo. Both the left and right side say Wonder Playing Cards. The bottom has some Wonder Playing Cards ad copy. The back is a representation of the back design done with silver metallic ink. And for some reason, in comparison it to the regular edition, this does not have any embossing on this side. You do get a custom tuck seal, mine being edition 277. The large inner tuck flap says Wonder Awaits, and unfortunately because this is a matte tuck box, it is extremely bendy. And then the two inner tuck flaps have the W logo again. Nothing else I can say for this gorgeous tuck box, so let's take a look at the cards. The back design at first glance looks kind of dull until you get it in lighting, where you start seeing the silver metallic really start to shine. And honestly, this back design is gorgeous. If you've seen the regular back design, of course you know it is, but this edition just makes it look even more so. And I do really appreciate that the borders are a little bit thinner, and this is a two-way back design and not marked. Then we get to your number cards. So the black cards are going to be all United States playing cards standard, your spades, but then your diamonds and hearts are going to be completely custom. So you'll see that there's this almost red fade going on in all the insides of the pips indices and even the values, and that goes for both the diamonds and hearts, and personally I like it better in the hearts. But when it comes to placement and everything else about this deck, it's all going to be standard. Your three aces are going to be the same as the number cards, but what I wish they would have done with the aces is taken the two black aces and made them both like this, including the ace of spades, and made these two your power aces by enlarging them and keeping this here. You have your duplicate WC Marks Jokers, and all of it is done with a bunch of silver metallic ink. Now onto your court cards. These are gorgeous. So all of the blues have been taken out of these playing cards, and so have the yellows, and you only are going to have reds, blacks, grays, and this silver metallic. Of course, absolutely gorgeous and done with United States playing cards standard faces. Now, most of them are going to be standard except for the fact that they're all smiling, if you haven't noticed already. But then a couple of them even have some stuff on top of that. So when you get to the Jack of Spades, you'll see that this is the only one not just smiling, but has his hand covering his mouth. You'll see that the Queen of Spades is holding the Three of Hearts, so you have a fun reveal there. And the King of Diamonds is holding a playing card on both sides, but with, instead of the back design from these playing cards, it is actually the faded design, just like on the inside of all the pips, indices, and values. And last but not least, of course, your Ace of Spades done entirely in silver metallic ink. Now when it comes to the Pharaoh Shuffle from top to bottom, it is definitely not the easiest. I think for the most part that's because of needing to put that silver metallic on the back. It really did change not only that, but a few other things as well. But from bottom to top, it was extremely easy. And when I say a few other things, I really mean the stock and finish of this deck and how it's going to feel in your hands. In comparison to the last deck, this deck is right about middle of the line, maybe a little bit thinner than a normal bicycle deck of playing cards, which the last one was definitely a thicker deck in comparison to a bicycle deck of playing cards. So definitely thinner. You do also get two less playing cards in this one, so even just there's less playing cards, so it definitely makes it thinner on top of that. But when it comes to the feel of these playing cards, there's really two things. There's snappy and buttery decks. Buttery decks are more used for things like Under Pressure, which look like that, and snappy decks are more used for things like Backdrop. So this deck is definitely going to be on the snappier side. So whether you're working on your card spring, ATM, things like this, all these things all together are going to be extremely simple and easy with a snappy deck. Not that this does not work for butter moves, obviously, as I showed you, just like everything else. Now, the one thing I did not like doing with this deck is the dribble, the one I just showed you right here. I do not like dribbling this deck. It feels extremely clumpy only when dribbling. Everything else that I've done, excluding the top to bottom Pharaoh and the dribble, absolutely amazing feeling, love them to death. Those two moves, if you do a top to bottom Pharaoh often, or you dribble the cards often, honestly, it's just not my favorite for that. But luckily, that's usually probably not what this deck's going to be for, because for the most part, this is going to be for collectors. Really, magicians, although can use it, are probably going to pick up the original deck of this, the standard edition. If you haven't checked that out, you can check out the full review in the description. This probably isn't going to be a deck for tons of magicians unless you're just really freaking fancy. Cardist definitely probably isn't going to be for you unless you're really trying to utilize this back design with the fact that it has the silver metallic ink. And then on top of that, collectors, that's where it's hitting. I mean, if you're a collector, you're wanting this deck. I mean, it's already in a series of playing cards, so like if you had all the first orbits, right? I mean, you'd be freaking rich. Same for Virtuoso and things like that. So this could end up being playing cards that are something like that. Now, I'm not sure if it'll ever hit the same level as Virtuoso and everything along those lines, but I mean, what if on the off chance that it does, you have their first signature edition, their first luxury edition playing cards? That would be pretty freaking sick. So collectors are definitely going to love this deck. It's got the signature seal. It's got the tug box is custom. Tons of silver metallic ink everywhere, embossing. This is going to be a deck for you if you're a collector. Playing card games, not for you. These cards are too nice. Please do not use these for playing card games. I will cry. And then, is this a hype deck? Most definitely, it is not a hype deck. If you have already decided that you're picking this deck up, I've made it extremely easy for you by leaving the link down in the description and on the pinned comment, so you can check that out as well. Now, it doesn't just have to be this deck of playing cards. It could be the regular Scarlet edition. It could be the V1s, the blue edition. There's tons of playing cards that they've got on the site, and you can check them all out down there. Speaking of those other two decks, if you want to check out the regular edition of those playing cards, you can check them out there, and the blue edition to them right there. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Subscribe and ring the bell if you love playing card reviews like this. This is CPM, signing off.